Take a look at a few news stories. So this is a pretty nice chart from New York Times showing the current state of the United States economy. There's 10 companies that are holding up the entire stock market, and for that matter, the world economy. And there's really only 7 big ones that are big players, and they're not actually earning any money. They're just playing games like this. OpenAI, Microsoft pays OpenAI $13 billion, and they pay them back for cloud computing. So they just trade money from one person to another, and they both count that as having made a sale. And here they are with $22 billion cloud computing and $350 billion coming back in stock. And here they got, they're paying SoftBank, which is famous for incredibly bad investments. They invested in terrible stuff like WeWork and lost tons of money. I don't know how they continue. They're a Japanese investment company, and somehow they continue to make ridiculous investments and lose their money and stay in business. I don't know how. And here's $300 billion in data centers, $300 billion in cloud computing going to Oracle, and so on. This is how they all pretend they're having vast sales without actually selling anything. And this is what happened in 1929. The stock market was going up, and everybody felt rich because they owned stock. And if you watch the movie, there's a movie about the 2008 financial crisis. And this financial analyst goes to a strip club, and the stripper says, "I own 3 homes." And he said, "You own 3 homes?" And then he shorts the market. He says, "Obviously, this is garbage." But everybody thought they were rich in 1929 because they owned stock that was way up high, and when it crashed, they had nothing.
It's raised to the up.
Right. They think they're rich because the value of the stock is wildly overinflated. And this is like Donald Trump now has like $5 billion, but it's in crypto. Well, see, that's the thing. It's in crypto, like Trump coin. And the problem is if you sell it, the price will crash and you won't get all that money. So it's a paper money. So if you have any sense, which I think Trump does, you will not sell it. You just use it to convince people you're rich, and then you get loans and make deals and get lower interest rates and everything by claiming you have it. Which is, I think, one of the big billionaires like Jeff Bezos has never paid any taxes, because if you're a rich, you don't get a salary. You just borrow money against all this collateral, then you don't sell it, and you don't get taxed. In fact, on paper, you're in huge debt, but you have all the money to spend, and you don't have any income to tax. That's what you do. So anyway, I just heard another political figure on a podcast this morning say, there really shouldn't be any billionaires, which is what Bernie said. This shows a flaw in our system. There never used to be. And the fact that one person gets this rich shows that the system is messed up. And this was Jefferson and Madison made this system, and they said at the time that it would hold together for about 200 years, and then people would, due to the corruption of the people, it would collapse into dictatorship, because you set up a system of checks and balances, and it's just a complicated puzzle. And it takes people a while to figure out how they could make a conspiracy and put people in to defeat all the checks and balances. And that's what the Republican Party has done over the last 50 years. And Trump has finished. Now there are no checks and balances. He is he's a mob type guy, and the mob controls the House, the Senate, and the Supreme Court. So the only remaining balance on him is the free press, which they're destroying very rapidly, and the lower courts. And it is true that the Supreme Court does not really take every case. So some decisions in the lower court hold for a while. But Trump has already figured out to just ignore everything decided in the lower court and wait for the Supreme Court. So, however, they haven't yet eliminated the people voting. And so that's why I think we are the last remaining barrier against complete dictatorship. And hopefully we'll be able to kick some of these guys out in 26 and 28, and then bring some of them to justice, because everything they've done is massively illegal. The tariffs are illegal, for example. He does not have the power to enforce these tariffs. He only can do it by declaring an emergency everywhere, and there is no emergency. And we also are just committing murder and piracy on the high sea, blowing up boats in Venezuela. We were not at war with Venezuela, and those boats were not coming to America. They didn't have enough fuel to come to America, so saying they were drug smugglers coming to America is ridiculous. Wow. They're small craft. They said they would have to refuel 20 times to make the trip to America. Right. They're small fishing boats. They're just murdering fishers and then claiming they're drug terrorists, because Trump just likes killing people. He said that he really, like most dictators, he enjoys killing people. It makes him feel powerful. And rightly so. It scares people. You rule by terror. Like, he's terrified the entire Senate and the entire House. All the Republicans don't dare speak against him, except for a few, like Marjorie Taylor Greene has shown some courage.
Isn't that weird?
She's completely crazy, but she does have some courage. And so anyway, I think that's all I'm going to mention about the news today. Let's get down to the